accident. Looking at a decent go coming down through Millsboro, down to Selbyville. Watch in Frankfort, they're doing the construction of the new traffic light on Route 113 near Blueberry Lane. Looks all right in Worcester County on 50 and 90 and 589. Wycomico County, new paving, new road work on Old Ocean City Road near Walston Switch Road. It's going to go through the middle of May, they're saying. Big picture, Route 50 good from Willage to Pittsfield to the bypass. Route 50 good to the Bay Bridge. That's your traffic for the Voice Radio Network.
All right, 8:24. It is the Bill and Jessica Show. Good morning to everybody jumping on our Facebook Live this morning. Check out the Bill and Jessica podcast right up on our Free Power app in your app store. Top left-hand drop-down. You can click on podcast, and you can check out segments from our show at any time. We go live to the hotline right now. First time on the show. We want to welcome Salisbury Mayor Jack Heath. Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning, Bill and Jessica. It's great to be with you.
Yes, absolutely.
You as well.
Thank you so much for checking in. We've been anxious to meet you. You know, we used to have our buddy Mayor Jake Day every other week, so we appreciate it. Thank you so much for checking in. Maybe this can be like the start of something, you know?
I certainly hope so.
Okay.
Very good, very good. So, first off, congratulations on becoming mayor. I mean, you've been, city council president for how long?
7.5 years.
Wow. Okay. So then Mayor Jake Day decided
You have
to
a new role now.
Yeah, he took on another role with our Governor Wes Moore, and you were appointed mayor of Salisbury. So how is it? Talk to us about the life of being the mayor of Salisbury.
It's really a change, obviously, from the legislative side to the operational side.
Right.
That's where I spent most of my career. Matter of fact, all of my career prior to getting on the council. So, but this is exciting. It's nonstop.
Yeah.
And I told my wife last week. I said I'm more energized now than I was for the last 8.5 years. So.
Well, you know what? We used to always talk to Mayor Jake, just about his just going out and about, doing all the ribbon cuttings, being seen, having his phone number out there, getting bothered by all the phone calls and the text messages all the time.
But he would answer them back.
And he would answer them.
He would.
Now, look, if you say no, like I understand, because I would be a no. But do you are you active like on social media and Facebook, and do you actually put your phone number out there and all that?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
I return calls. It's sometimes it's difficult. It depends on the day. I try to lump them all together and take care of them in one time when I set aside a half hour or so.
Yeah, man, you get those phone calls that my trash didn't get picked up on Tuesday. I don't understand why.
That's one of them.
Man.
There are many.
You're a better person than me.
You just can't make everybody happy.
Right.
So that's the tough part, I'm sure.
It is. And my wife and my kids always told me, don't worry about what people say. As long as you can sleep well at night, then you're doing the right thing.
Nice. Well, look, again,
it's good advice.
Congratulations on, Mayor Salisbury. I know you got a lot going on. What have, as soon as you were appointed mayor, between then and now, what have you been doing? What is your different things that you've had to make that change?
Well, the timing was sort of not the best timing in the world because I had no chance to sort of acclimate to the job.
Right.
We started on budget immediately.
Okay.
And that is a very stressful time, especially in this day and age. We're still feeling the effects of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's feeling the effects of $4 a dozen for eggs, and we're no different.
Right.
So you've got increasing costs, and you want to have you don't want to really overburden the citizens, and sometimes you have to do that.
Right. So I see here I'm just going down some of the things happening in Salisbury, the Salisbury Zoo. First up, I see that they're rebranding for the first time in years and years. That's pretty exciting, right?
We love the zoo.
Yeah, we did that Saturday.
Okay.
We had a tremendous crowd. That was tied in with the Zoo Stampede, the 5K race. So
did you run that race, Mayor? Did you run that 5K?
I watched it.
Right. Good call.
Yeah. I'm my days of running are long gone. but I enjoyed it, and
nice.
then we showed the new brand. The brand is pretty cool. It's got our bison on it, and it's got our Andean bear.
And it says after nearly 50 years, man, that's a big that's a big thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're probably one of the few totally free zoos in the United States, and we're very proud of that. And we get a lot of visitors, obviously. So that was a great event. And then the most fun I've had since I've been here is we had the dedication of Ann Street Village.
Yeah, that was my next question. I'm not too familiar, so if you don't mind kind of giving us like a little bit of background on what that is, and go ahead and talk to us about it.
Okay. We're no different than any city in the United States or any town. We have a homelessness problem, and we're trying to address the problem and take a proactive stance. And what we chose to do, and it started under Jake Day, what we chose to do was make a tiny home village, and it's on Ann Street in Salisbury behind the old railroad station.
Okay.
And we have 24 units, single person units that we are going to house 23 homeless people, chronically homeless.
That's great.
And this is not permanent housing. This is transitional housing.
Okay.
And we have 24 tiny homes, but one of them is going to be for wraparound services.
Okay.
So we're going to have they can have physicals there. They can have first aid there. If there's a mental issue, we have a clinical psychologist. We have a lot of people that are going to serve these people, and they have milestones they have to hit. So the goal is to get them up on their feet, get them a job, and then have them transition into fixed housing.
Wow, that's great. And that's a incredible project.
Yeah,
that you guys accomplished. How does someone qualify to go into that housing, and how do they qualify to be able to come away from homelessness and get into the transitional homes?
Well, we have like I said, we have an application process.
Okay.
We have so far, like I said, we had 23. The sad part is we had 51 people sign up already.
Wow.
For those 23 spots.
Gosh.
But we're focusing on the chronically homeless first, the people who have been homeless the longest.
Right.
And then we have to look at their criteria. We have to make sure that they're clean. And if they're not clean, they're in process of getting clean. And because some of them obviously have alcohol problems, some of them have drug problems.
Right.
And we don't want to enable them, so they're going to have to. We're going to be very strict about following the rules.
Okay. And how long do they stay in the transitional housing before they, have to move on?
The maximum is 2 years, but that's probably with special circumstances.
Okay.
The goal is to have them transition in 1 year.
Okay.
So they'll have a place. Now, the good news is, I've always said, you can't expect someone to go out and look for a job every day if they're worried about where they're going to sleep that night and where they're going to get their next meal.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
That excuse is gone, so we can focus in on doing exactly what needs to get done for them.
Are there people in place to help them?
Oh yeah, there's the 24th unit is where those wraparound services will be located.
Okay.
We have a 24/7 person on site to help them. So there will be supervision. We have a gate not to keep people in, but to keep people
out.
Right. So what they do is when they come up to the gate, we have a biometric thumbprint, so that only the people that are in the village can come in the village.
Right. Okay.
So they're protected. And then they can leave anytime they want. There are no curfews or anything like that. We want to make it real as real life as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want them to feel like it's a jail or a prison.
Right.
That's the last thing we want.
And it's really just all about helping people get back up on their feet, because you never know. You talk about
hand up.
Sometimes there's people who come in and they have alcohol problem or drug problem or whatever. They're trying to get themselves together, but other times there could be someone who lost their job,
falling on hard times,
on hard times. You just don't know. What people just don't realize what other people are going through. And I think this is just an amazing project.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're proud. We are the smallest city in the United States with a permanent housing, with a transitional housing program.
Wow, that's incredible.
Cool.
And that happened the other day. I mean, and bravo to the city of Salisbury for doing that. That's great. Man, that's just a great thing. If people want to, check out, the project, you guys it's online on social media as well. They can check out some of the pictures and stuff like that.
Absolutely. It's on Facebook. It's on our city site. And it's amazing, too. I wanted to mention that we had people from Montgomery County come down. We have people from Hagerstown come down. We had Bill West from Georgetown, who has his own tiny village. He came down. I thought we were going to get probably, if we were lucky, 50 people, at noon on a Friday. You'd say, well, okay, if we get 50 people tonight, we had over 200 people.
Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. Incredible.
It was moving. I've seen a lot in my lifetime, but that was one of the most moving things that I've ever been involved with.
How much is how big of a problem is homelessness in Salisbury?
It's relatively, it's hard to say. My guess is we have probably between 150 and 200 homeless.
Okay.
Chronically homeless.
And these are 23. They're going to be in these transitional housing. Hopefully, you can move people in and get them transitioned into back up on their feet,
and then help more.
Yeah, and then help more, move more in,
it.
And then just start to dwindle down this this problem. I know that you're never going to stop homelessness, but at least you'll be able to curb some of it.
Yeah. Well, the realistic thing about it is, all the homeless people, you're not going to get them to come into a facility like this.
Right.
There are some people who just want to be out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's hard to accept, but it's a fact of life. And if you spend time feeling sorry and not being able to do anything about it, then you're letting down the people who need it.
Who need it and want it. Right.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's definitely a great thing that you guys are doing. Little bit other events going on in Salisbury. I see that you guys recently had a job fair. Are you guys still hiring? Are you hiring in the city of Salisbury?
Absolutely. We need all kinds of people. It's on our website. If you go to the website, you'll see we need police, we need fire, we need truck CDL drivers, we need electricians, we need, you name it, we need it. It's very strange because you wonder where everybody went that was working before COVID, because it's very difficult right now, and it's a very competitive marketplace for hiring.
Well, and sometimes it's hard to find good workers. I will say that.
Yes.
It's hard to find good help around here. You know what I'm saying? So
but we're very lucky. When Jake asked me if I would consider running and accepting the nomination and then running again in November, when he asked me that, I would have said no if it wasn't for the team that was in place.
Nice.
And that says a lot. The directors that we have in each of the departments are committed. The workers, it's hard to describe how down to earth and how hard they work.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon to ride down the street, and not just me, but anybody, ride down the street and get to a place where they have lane closures, and there's a flagman there, and the flagman will wave to you. I mean, how many flagmen?
Right.
That's the kind of thing that makes the city
Well, it's like a
Special,
family. It's like a
right.
family, you know. So
It is a big family.
man, that's great. That's great. Well, Mayor Jack, you know, we appreciate you checking in today. Is there anything coming up that you want to promote? Any events in the next week or two that you know we can talk about?
Yeah, well, we've got a pop-up bus stop, which is a great event. We go to where the school bus gets lets out in the neighborhood, and we rotate the neighborhood, and we provide snacks for the kids. We get to see the parents who are picking the kids up, and that's a great event. And then we have a neighborhood walk, which is going to be on the 25th, and that's going to be in the Pinehurst neighborhood. So that's going to be big. What we do is last month I cooked. We had hot dogs, hamburgers, drinks. The folks came up to us, and then we had, I believe we had 6 groups of 5
Okay.
that went around and knocked on the doors and said, "How we doing? What do you need?" And then we take that feedback, and then we come back, and that's how our plans are developed.
Nice. Well, that's great. If people want more information, how can they, you know, get up with you? How can they find out about all the events happening in Salisbury?
They're on the website. The website is pretty easy to navigate. So I would suggest that you go on the website, look for upcoming events, and come out and see us.
And also,
Nice.
you had mentioned, you know, you're going to be running a race. You guys are going to be campaigning again. When does all that craziness start? I
already
did
has.
see.
It
Well,
already
I
has,
did
he
see
said.
you were kind of doing like a meet and greet at at one of the local business. We're always big advocates to support local business, as I'm sure you are as well. You know, just come on out and meet Jack Heath. You know, have a drink with Jack Heath or whatever. So yeah, you just got appointed mayor, and now you're going on a campaign. Now you're going to start like campaigning to be reelected as mayor, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to have much sleep.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say, do you sleep at all?
It's fun, though. I mean, meeting the people is the best part of my job.
Yeah.
And you learn more by talking to the citizens than you do any other way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, good luck to you. You know, we're happy and honored to have you on. We appreciate it, and hopefully, you know, this will be the start of something. See, we like to have, you know, we are live and local right here. You know, and of course, we cover Salisbury. We have Mayor Rick Meehan on from Ocean
Yep.
City every other week. So hopefully, we can start getting you on.
Okay.
Hey, thank you so much, Mayor Jack
Thank
Heath from
you.
Salisbury. You have a great week. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Bill and Jessica. Thank you very for having me.
Thanks so much. 841. It's a Bill and Jessica show.